On this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to install a farmhouse style sink, so stay tuned. Welcome to Fix This House. If you're new to the channel, please consider pressing the subscribe and notification bell so you could always be in tune on DIYs, how-to videos, and product reviews that I do within this channel. So if you've been tuning in with my kitchen renovation series, you can see that I've just got done putting some of the bases on my kitchen cabinets, and some of them are ready also for the hot and cold water hookups and the drain lines as well, where that blue area is. So let me tell you a quick story what happened to our old countertop. This is actually Corian, which is also known as solid. While we were trying to move it, it snapped in half. I'll show you in the future video on how I ended up fixing this problem. Corian or solid is actually very easy to fix, and I'll show you that in future videos. They're a lot cheaper than granite or quartz, but they're one level up from laminate countertops. So we ended up reusing this old countertop that we had. No use, we didn't want to go buy new ones, so because we wanted to reuse this one. It's still in great shape, so we're actually cutting this a lot smaller, because from the length of our new layout, from the cabinets that we put right here, it's going to end up being smaller. So we ended up cutting it and to make it to fit. So as you can see, there it is, and you can see where the crack is at the moment. I'll show you in the future video how I'm gonna go fix this. This is actually a very easy fix. Corian is actually very easy to fix. As long as you have scrap pieces that you can use to fill in the gaps, you can fix this very easily. So you can see that there's that little gap right there. I'll show you how I glued that up and fixed it in a later video, but that's what it is at the moment right now. And this is what it lays out for my kitchen countertop as well. See, it's a lot smaller than what we had before, and this is ready for preparation when we put our farmhouse sink. Now what we're gonna do before we put this countertop is we're gonna go and use this liquid nails construction adhesive, and I'm gonna be applying this on all the top portions of the base of my cabinets. I'm gonna be using this 1-inch. Okay, this is a 1-inch base that I'm going to be putting around, so that the Corian countertop has something to sit on. Just let this sit for a little bit, and this is pretty heavy material even though it is solid. So luckily my wife was there to help me out, and we are going to be placing this countertop on. Now here's finally where we're going to go install the farmhouse sink. This is our old farmhouse sink that I'm reusing as well, and you can see that there is a lip on the bottom right there. It is made out of stainless steel, and it's rectangular shape, and we are gonna go and make it flush and sit underneath the Corian countertop. So I really want to show you this trick right here. This is a scissor car jack lift right here, and it's very helpful. I also made this little template right here where it's gonna help me move that and support that sink. So these are brand new cabinets, so I am putting a little piece of plywood to protect it from my cabinets from getting scratched, and I'm going to be placing my scissor jack and my little made up base right here to help with the sink. Now if you have two people, I highly suggest that you have two people in doing this to help you support that from your car scissor jack and to your farmhouse sink. So this will help you when you put your adhesive, your construction adhesive. This will help you have a little bit of stability, and especially if you're working by yourself, this will help out a lot, because you can't just do this and have someone hold the farmhouse sink the whole time. It will be very heavy. So this will definitely provide you with support while you're putting the construction adhesive around. Now while you're doing this, you can start slowly lifting the scissor jack little by little until you can position your farmhouse sink to the right area that you really want. Okay, so while you're doing this, have someone to support it. Luckily my wife was there to help me support while I jack this up. So while we position it to the right spot that we want it right there, now you have a good stable support using that scissor jack. Now you're gonna go and measure all the way around of the sink to make sure that everything is nice and even on each side. You might get a little gap like what I have right here, so make sure you squeeze on a little bit of construction adhesive underneath on both sides as well. And this is easy cleanup. Don't worry if you're gonna have some kind of squeeze out on the end, and then you're gonna use some sort of clamp to clamp the countertop and the farmhouse sink together, because nothing's perfect when you're installing things like these come and you don't expect these little problems to come and arise. So you always want to be flexible and do your best to find ways to fix things. And this is a good way, and one of my advice, one of the ways that I did to fix this gap. Now you always want to make sure that everything is nice and level. Use your level. Make sure you level on the each direction. Okay, so everything is nice and leveled at the moment. Now while you're waiting for the construction adhesive to dry, you are going to go measure out for the legs. There's so many ways to construct the legs, friends. This is just my way of doing it. Remember that lip that I showed you in the very beginning where that farmhouse had that mini small lip? That's where the base is going to be. So I'm just going to be using 2x4s that are scrap that I found around laying around my garage. And I'm going to cut out the measurement. In this case, it was around 23 inches. So I'm going to be cutting 4 legs for this. I'm going to be doing 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. But first, I'm going to go and test this out. And while doing that, since I have the support on the left side, I don't need this little jack right here. We can do away with that. So that's one great trick to have, just in case you want an extra hand and extra support while you're trying to test fit everything. Once that's done, you're gonna go and place the second leg on the other side. So it might be a little tight squeeze in there, so you're just gonna maneuver it back and forth and just kind of jiggle it all the way through. And eventually, if it is too big, you can just go back to your saw and cut it. But don't make it too short that it'll, basically defeat the purpose. My son there is being a great helper. He's always there to help me out. But anyways, right when you get that 2 legs put on, then you can start putting the silicone sealant underneath. And all the materials that I used on this video, I'll leave a link on the description down below. And we're going to go and seal that area all the way on the bottom of the countertop. Now, this is one of the mistakes I did, and I hope I learned from this mistake. Hopefully you don't do this, but make sure you put these first. If you have a soap dispenser and if you have a faucet, do those first before putting the sink on. It'll definitely save you a lot of time and a lot easier to install, because without the farmhouse sink in the way, those areas like the nuts and bolts that you put underneath is easily accessible. So when you're done, you can either screw these on to your cabinets, or you can just use your construction adhesive and stick this to the side or the bases of your cabinets. That's it. You can notice that I've installed all the plumbing in here and the drainage. Stay tuned for future videos. If you want to learn how I did this, stay tuned for those upcoming videos. But pretty much that's it. And make sure you tuned in for the continuation of my kitchen renovation series. If you found this video helpful, please hit that big thumbs up, press the subscribe and notification bell, and I'll see you friends on my upcoming projects on this continuation of my kitchen. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.